All right, so here's my lion attack story. It happened in Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago. I was 11 years old. I was there with my two cousins who were about my age. One was older, one was younger, and they brought along their friend Lori, who I kind of had a crush on. That's part of the story, because boys are a little braver and a little show-offy when they like a girl, right? So we're at the lion exhibit. Now normally when there's a lion enclosure, there's like a bush, and then a railing, and then a moat, and then the lions. And normally the lions are like sleeping, right? Yeah. And they're like, their bottoms facing you. Like, you're like, come on, I want to see the lions. Well, the lion was awake this time. And he was pacing. It was awesome. That's like rare, right? Normally it's like, come on, can I see the lion? Well, at the Lincoln Park Zoo, there's something in addition to the normal lion. There's a whole row of lions exhibits. All right, have a seat, buddy, have a seat. Well, at this lion exhibit, the moat turns, and on the side, you can go around where a lot of people don't think to go. It's like just a walkway to the next area. There is a window, and it has bars, and then the moat is right there. And it's still a good distance. So in theory, the lion could jump over the moat and maybe grab the bars, I don't know, and reach through. Probably would never do that because they're pretty lazy, right? But you can go right up to the bars and grab the bars, and you feel pretty close to the lions, right? So after we were watching the lions, we went around the corner to go to the next area, and I went right up to the bars, and the lion goes right up to the edge of the boat, and he's standing. He feels like where that line is. He's probably a little further, and he's looking right at me. So my heart's pounding, probably going to lead to future heart problems. My heart's pounding out of my chest. The lion's looking right at me. And being a boy, of course, I'm going to taunt the lion, right? So I'm like, I'm making noise, and the lion's like looking at me, and I'm having the time of my life. Well, the girls are being scaredy cats, right? So they're back here, they're all scared, right? And I'm trying to show off to the girl that I kind of crushing on, right? And so I'm trying to show how brave I am, that I'm so close to the lion. And so I'm trying to get the girls to come closer to the lion. You know, and I'm safe, right? Because there's bars and there's a moat. And he's way in there and I'm way out here. The lion's not going to like jump and like grab me because like he'd fall in the moat, right? Right? Totally safe, right? So while they're back here being scaredy girls, okay, I'm right up at the bars, like 10 feet from the lion. So I made a mistake. I turned my back on the lion. So I turn around and I start doing the chicken dance for the girls. Like, bark, 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 scaredy girls, scaredy girls. And so I'm like, come on, what are you guys afraid of? It's totally safe. With my back to the lion. That's when it happened. Suddenly, I feel a piercing stab to my back. It hurt. It was like this piercing, hot, like it was like I was stabbed. I didn't know what it was. All I knew is that it hit me right here and it hurt. And in my terror and pain, not knowing what it was, I began to spin around instinctively, right, to see what it was. And as I spun around, the piercing pain began to cut all across my body until I was all the way facing the lion, and the pain and the cutting was all the way down to the front of me. And I'm looking at the lion. He hadn't leapt across the moat, but he wasn't looking at me anymore. In fact, I'm trying to see between the pain and agony, what was I looking at? I was looking at the side of the lion with his leg up. And coming out from under his leg was this stream of water that was like an inch thick. And it was streaming across the moat. And it was landing right here. And in a fraction of a second, I realized he was peeing on me. And in my pain and agony, instead of backing away, I just continued to turn, screaming in pain, and the pain continued to cut across my body until I realized he had cut all the way around me, and this thick, molten, hot water began to pour all the way down my body. The girls are now laughing at me as they run off, And I'm like, no! And I swear the lion laughed at me as he walked away, just like this. I find out the lion has a nickname, Old Faithful. I was not his first victim. He was known for this. The only good thing was that for the rest of the day, before social distancing was a thing, everywhere I would go, I could see any exhibit. I would just walk up and people would go, ew, ew, what's that stench? And they'd look at me with the streams of stuff down my pants, and they would all back away, and I could enjoy any exhibit that I wanted with plenty of space around me, because I smelled like lion pee for the rest of the day. The worst thing was, I mentioned I went with my grandma. They lived in Gary, Indiana, and we were all the way downtown Chicago at the zoo. My grandparents made me take off my pants. They threw them in the garbage. This is at the end of the day, not at the zoo. But at the end of the day, they didn't want in their nice Cadillac, to have my pee-soaked pants. So they made me take my pants off and throw them in the garbage. I had my Spider-Man underoos on. I had to ride in the back of the car with my cousins, who were girls, and Lori, who I had a crush on, in my underwear. I'm sure I had a blanket or a pillow or something to put over my waist, but I was so mortified that I had to ride in the back of the car in my underwear with 3 girls the whole ride home, smelling like lion pee. But yes, I did survive a lion attack. Fortunately, it was not claws or teeth. But I think I would have rather claws or teeth. I got peed on by a lion at the zoo all the way around me from 10 feet away through the window. You gotta admit, that's pretty impressive aim for a lion. They don't call him the king of the king of the jungle for nothing, right? That's pretty impressive, right? So that's my lion attack story.